If someone suffers through a painful experience, how are they able to rise above that? Is it possible? Is it possible to move to a place of joy? Welcome back. I'm Gila Ross, host of the Power Up podcast, where we share short, relatable ideas to help you thrive in your life. And in this series, we take a look at a short idea from the Torah portion of the week. If you've ever been through a difficult experience, a painful experience in your life, you'll know how hard it is to move past that. If it's someone else that has done something to you that you feel they shouldn't have done, is it possible to move past it? Is it possible to move to a place where we can kind of forget about it, maybe even be joyful? Joseph serves as an inspiration to any of us that has gone through something painful. When Joseph names his son, his firstborn son, he calls him Manasseh, and he says, "For God has made me forget all my trouble and all that was in my father's house." Joseph went through incredible challenges with his brothers. They tried to kill him. They sold him into slavery. He suffered for years and years and years because of their actions. We'd think that, number one, he'd never be able to forget what happened to his father's in his father's house. And number two, why on earth would he name his child after that? Why would he want that association with his precious child? Here, Joseph was thanking God. He was expressing his gratitude that he had managed to eradicate the hatred for his brothers for the anguish that they had caused him. He had gotten to a place where he was completely convinced that what had happened was so crazy that it must have been God's plan, that he was able to let go of the hatred for his brothers. Interestingly enough, if you look through the story, there are some things in it that stand out that they're so beyond rational sense that it's so clear that it was God's hand directing things. Jacob, the father who loved Joseph, he sent him into Shechem. He sent him to go to Shechem where his brothers were looking after the sheep. Hold on a second. The very same Shechem where just previously two of the brothers had killed them all killed all the males in order to save their sister Dinah. It was a very hostile place. And why did Jacob send Yosef down there? He sent him there because he said, "I want you to check on your brothers." Hold on a second. That doesn't make sense. You love your son. You're going to send one to check by himself, to go into a dangerous place to check on the other brothers who are all together because you're worried about the other brothers. That doesn't make sense. And when we look at it, we realize, hold on a second. And the text actually hints to this. It says that what happened, Jacob's decision process in this whole thing was so beyond rational thought. Like, it was so crazy, if I could use that word. It shows us that it was God's hand directing us, directing events, so that the brothers would have the opportunity to send Joseph down to Egypt, because that's what God's plan was for him. And because Joseph got to the place where he understood this and he felt this so deeply, he was able to make peace with the situation and let go of the hatred. Joseph understood that it was from God, and he also understood that it was for the good. Look what came from it. He became the second in command. He was able to save his brothers. In our own lives too, when we have something painful, when we can understand that this is coming from God and it's coming for the good, and sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes we got to hang on tight and see and wait patiently until we see something good coming from it. When we can understand that, it gives us a certain freedom, a certain ability to let go of the pain. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that the person who does the thing isn't responsible. It's almost like there's two levels, two layers. There's God's plan, and that's going to happen anyway. And then there's the person who does it, who's fully responsible, because God has many avenues of making sure that God's plan comes out. But the person who does it, they have complete autonomy. They have complete free will to decide if they are going to be the one through whom God is going to carry out his plan. We see this in the way a mitzvah in the Torah is written. If a person has a flat roof, there's a mitzvah in the Torah that you have to build a fence. And it says in the Torah why you should do that. It says because otherwise the faller will fall. And the language of the text begs a question. What do you mean the faller will fall? It should say the person will fall. But what the rabbis point out here is that person who fell off the roof was supposed to fall. Nothing happens without God ordaining it. But if you left your roof in an unsafe position and someone fell off your roof, you are responsible for not taking the safety precautions. Yes, that person was destined to fall, but it didn't have to be on your roof. It didn't have to be on your watch. So when we can understand that what happens, even if it's through other people, is for the good, and we can have the patience and the curiosity to see how it will turn out good, it gives us a certain ability, a certain freedom to let go of that pain and to come to a place of joy, just like Joseph was able to. And he was even able to name his child because he had such gratitude that he was able to get to that place. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Please check the show notes for my current offer of a free one-to-one call and how to book it. And meanwhile, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out. And share the love with anyone who would benefit. Thank you, have a great day, and happy Hanukkah.